What is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. It's been a little while since I've made a video, but today I'm going to be giving some general thoughts, really, a general verdict on the early access of Ships at Sea. Now, I know there's a lot of videos going around at the moment about this, but I just wanted to give my take, really, as to what I generally think about it, and as to whether I think, you should buy it or you should wait. So I'm going to generally just run down what the game has to offer right now. I'm also going to be talking about a few pros and cons, a few bugs within the game that may essentially make you decide to hold off until the game gets into a little bit more of a stable state. Now, of course, like we say, it is early access. But generally speaking, right off the bat, I've put in a fair few hours into this game already. And the one thing that really blew me away straight away was the physics of the water. Now, I know water isn't everything, but I mean, when it comes to a simulator, a shipping simulator, so to speak, water is everything, in my opinion. It's an absolute pleasure, and to be fair, I'm quite blown away with how well they've actually done it. Now, of course, it is Unreal 5, so yeah, expecting the best really in this moment. But yeah, we'll run down. We'll give you a few little things. So, of course, straight away, obviously, you create your character. You do a little intro tutorial thing, which is very basic, start up in a rowboat. But that is mainly the bit that everybody wants to get out of the way. So here we have an office. In the office, of course, we have different tasks. Now, in comparison to the previous titles, just like Fishing North Atlantic, it was very much focused on the fishing element of it. Whereas on this one, there's a lot of different jobs that you can participate in order to get XP and money and all that kind of stuff. But here, these are cargo missions, so to speak. You deliver materials and things like this all around the different areas of the map, which I have to say, the map is absolutely massive. Something which I was quite shocked about, actually. But if anybody's played the previous titles, you should know by now. These maps tend to be quite big and tend to take quite a bit of time to go from point A to point B. But yeah, essentially, you can transport cargo now, so you don't necessarily have to fish at all if you don't want to. It just opens up a different sort of prospect in the whole world of shipping, really. Now, of course, you've got your bank. You can do your loans and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty self-explanatory, really. Services. Now, this is another cool thing. You can buy insurance for your boats, and of course, you can get your rescue services as well. So, really handy things to consider. When you're out on the sea. I mean, I've gone for the 23 towing. And the Viking boat insurance covered 80% of the boat's value if destroyed. I think it's worth its weight in gold, that kind of stuff. Of course, here we've got our shop as well. In here, there's quite a variety of different things. As you can see, we've got the jigger, the power drills, binoculars, and the hooks. The power drills are for little miscellaneous jobs, I would say. Replacing bulbs and all that kind of stuff to the towers. Of course, you've got your flashlights and your batteries. Ping me. So usually, when you've got a buoy in the water, it stays there, like where it is. Now, I believe lines, when you have lines out in the water, they disappear after 72 hours. But if you use one of these, the line will stay there forever. But of course, it is quite pricey. Then, of course, you've got your parts for fish farms and things like that. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But of course, like I say, with that drill, you use it to, you know, go to the C markers and undo the little unit, the boxes and stuff, and obviously replace the bulbs and the fuses. So, you know, it's another thing. Of course, you've got your smolt there. That's for the smolt tanks, and then of course you've got just your standard fish food, baits, and things like that. Now these are for your fisheries. So yeah, again, that is another thing which I think is a nice addition. Of course, here's the size of the map. It's quite big. Different fish markers, different fish habitats, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you've got your fisheries, and I will get into that in just a second. Now, of course, everybody wants to know what variety of boats that are available. Now, of course, it's early access. I would imagine there is more to come. But generally speaking, absolutely beautiful layout. Absolutely beautiful layout. You know, being able to actually come in here and see the boat in all of its glory with all the lighting, it's pretty sweet. But if we come over to the computer here, obviously you can see your active boats and boats. These are the ones that are currently for sale at the moment. So there's a few. And of course, like, some of these come with water cannons and stuff like that to put out fires in the sea, that kind of stuff. Then of course bigger fishing boats for, you know, your long line and your net fishing and your light cargo as well. Same thing here. You can have a smolt tank, which is pretty cool. That's transferring fish to and from your fisheries. And of course you can have an external fuel tank as well. Now, if I go into my active boats, you can see it's pretty generic here. You can name it, change the colour of the, you know, the name and all that kind of stuff. Loads of different upgrades available, which, you know, most people that have played the previous game will know exactly what this is all about. Like I say, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I just want to go through and show you a few things that you can do. Obviously you can change your propellers as well, your steering, your throttle, the searchlight. I find this more of a hindrance when you're actually inside the hull. It's definitely like I say, it obscures your vision. In fact, you can see more with it off. So take that as you will. Then of course you've got your external fuel tanks. So of course you can mount a 2,000 litre fuel tank on your boat, used for transporting fuel from main fuel stations to fuel stations located around the map. So that's something completely different as well. And of course the same with the smolt tanks. You know, you can store juvenile fish, and you use it to transport those fish from port to deploy them in your fish farms. And of course, you know, that's when you feed and all that kind of stuff. And then you've got your vehicle maintenance. Now, one thing that has really caught my attention with vehicle maintenance at the moment, now of course you've got all these tires around the side of your boat. Now these are to stop obviously you from damaging your boat when you're coming up to the dock and stuff like that. And there seems to be a bit of a damage issue at the moment. The slightest knock, and I mean the slightest knock, causes quite significant damage, which, you know, it's here and all there really. It is a bit of a pain, especially when things cost so much to repair and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, we'll jump in the boat. So of course here as well, you can unlock perks. We will get into that in just a moment. But generally speaking here, what you'll do is we'll run up to the office real quick, and we will accept the mission. So of course here, this is where you pick up your supplies, you take it to your boat, like I say, and then you just plonk it down just like that. Now of course this game does have multiplayer, At the moment, those features are, I think they're being worked on to a degree. I mean, I know that they were working at the beginning, but they've turned them off due to obviously stability issues. But I would imagine at some point we'll be able to work on each other's boats, board each other's boats, and help out with this kind of stuff. So, you know, it adds another layer to, you know, to multiplayer and all that kind of stuff, which is really, really cool. I mean, I would have absolutely loved multiplayer to be in Fishing North Atlantic, personally. But yeah, it's all a work in progress. If they do this really well, and they start pushing out some more hotfixes and stuff like that and getting the game ready, then I can see this game being very, very big. I don't really want this game to fall into the category of, like, it had potential. But as far as playing it myself and doing what I've done so far, I have to say I thoroughly enjoy it. More or less to the point, would I recommend you buy it? That would all come down to essentially what you would expect. Generally speaking, there are a few bugs within the game, but none of them have been game breaking. Not for me, at least, anyway. Like we say, a lot of people have had issues with game progression and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, this is to be expected with early access. We can't complain too much, as frustrating as it may be. You know, you've just got to kind of take these things on the chin, don't you, really, when it comes to early access stuff. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend it. I've put a fair few hours into it, like I've said, and I've enjoyed every moment of it, to be completely honest with you. So, of course, we got our logbook. Here, you unlock your skill points through leveling XP. Your traveling distance as well. This is required to unlock more certificates. So, of course, when you get better certificates, you unlock the bigger boats, or at least have the ability to purchase the bigger boats. Then you've got your missions here, tells you what you completed and the payment. Cancel if you want to. And then you've got your skill tree. So a lot of this stuff is pretty self-explanatory, really. Don't really need to go over it too much. But you can do quite a few nice little things, you know, fire safety, fishing, all that kind of stuff. The one thing I really don't like is the jigging. I know I'm going to leave that for people to explore themselves, so they can really decide whether they actually like it or not. But jigging needs a little bit of work. In fact, I think they should just replace it with a fishing rod, to be completely honest with you. And then all the generic stuff there. Then you've got your boats and you've got your help. So in your help section, just basic generic stuff. Your inventory, your missions, your weather, your skills, your fishing, and of course your ships. So that's pretty sweet. But let's jump into it anyway. Let's jump into it. So hopefully, yeah, it's a bit rough. Yeah, see, look, damage took. It was just a tiny, tiny bump. So when it comes to your map, pretty basic. There's no fast travel point or fast travel option as of yet, so keep that in mind. There are a few functions within the ship, the boat. You know, you've got your running lights, your work lights, your search lights, even the wipers work, which I think is pretty sweet. But there's definitely going to be a bit more functionality to it. Close the door if you want. But I think it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Of course, you can change your view as well. You know, just this alone is definitely... I tell you what, it's one of those games where you just switch your brain off. Do you know what I mean? You switch your brain off. You can sail the open seas. You know, deliver cargo, do a bit of fishing here and there, and I'm very, very intrigued to see what they bring into the game in the long run. You know, the potential that this game has got, if it's done correctly, it'll be absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. There's no denying that. But yeah, generally speaking, I've got no complaints so far. You know, it's very hardcore, like picking up the cargo and delivering the cargo. I guess you could see it a little bit tedious after a while, you know, but overall I think it's just part and parcel of the game, isn't it, really? You know? Nice little horn. Same thing as it as well, you know, you can fast forward time and all that kind of stuff if that's what you really want to do. But the waves do get a bit choppy, especially when some of the storms come in. I've seen and heard the waves, you know, flipping over people's boats and things like that. So, you know, definitely keep that in mind. Definitely keep that in mind. But like I say, guys, feel free to ask any questions down below. And let me know if you want to see more of this. Of course, like I say, it's been a little while since I've made a video on YouTube, but I'm definitely going to try and get back into it as best as I can, and obviously keep you guys updated as best as I can as well. But yeah, maybe consider dropping a like, you know, if you like this sort of content and want to be kept up to date with this sort of stuff. Maybe consider subscribing as well. Right, this is another tedious part, but it's docked nevertheless. Alright, let's turn the engine off. Let's get out of the boat. But yeah, generally speaking, this is what you do. You come over and you just drop the goods there. And this is pretty much it, the part and parcel of it. This is the bulk so far what I've seen of just delivering cargo. Now, I don't mind. I really don't mind the delivering cargo, but in fact, I find it quite relaxing, quite therapeutic, if that's what you want to call it. Yeah. And they make you a decent amount of cash as well, which I was quite surprised about. But of course, with everything being early access, it's all subject to change, isn't it? You know, so this is why I'm calling it an early access review. Of course, when the game does come out full release, then I'll do an update on the game as and when that happens. But I can't see that happening for a little bit of time yet. And I would imagine as well for consoles, just like everything really, when they get this into a stable state, I would imagine console release wouldn't be far around the corner from that, which is something else to really look forward to. Speaking of consoles, actually, when it comes to controller support, there is controller support here. You can use a controller if that's what you want to do. But for me, I'm mouse and keyboard. I just find it a little bit more, you know, a little bit easier. But at least the option is there. There we go. Deliver building materials. Blah blah blah. And then obviously you work your money up and you buy upgrades and hopefully end up getting some bigger ships and all that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, guys, what can I say? Do you buy it? Should you buy it? Is it worth it? The way that I got to look at it is that if you like these types of games and you've liked the previous titles from these guys, and of course you like what you see here, you know, the water physics, the way the boats handle, the way the boats look more than anything, and of course what the game has to offer at the moment, then I would say yes. But if you're looking for more of a finished, sort of polished, no sort of issues, that kind of deal, then I'd say hold off. I'd say wait a little bit, you know, see where the game goes, do your due diligence, and see how the game develops and see how it progresses. That's probably the best thing that I can do. Of course, I don't regret purchasing it. Like I say, I've chucked so many hours into it already. I've enjoyed every moment of it. But yeah, guys, like I say, thank you very much for watching. I know it's been a little bit of a short one. But let me know down in the comments section what you think about this game. Are you playing it? Is it something that you're looking forward to getting? Is it something that you're planning on getting and you're not just quite sure? Like I say, feel free to drop a comment down in the comment section, and I will try my absolute best to help you out as best as I can. But anyway, guys, like I say, thank you very much for watching. You all take it easy, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.